We're here to learn from Charlie Aldis, hailing over from MavenIT, a very interesting team that is helping basically to deliver turnkey technical support services for your business. And they have a lot of different packages that we're going to be talking about. Very interesting service that they provide. A lot of companies obviously need that helping hand for their operations. So I'm pleased to have Charlie here in the interview, who is heading up marketing and sales at MavenIT. So Charlie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. So maybe tell us about MavenIT a little bit. What is it all about in your own words?
Okay. Well, MavenIT actually we are just 2 years old. We were founded by, I'm one of the owners, and the other owner is my business partner, a guy named Aaron McCarthy. We come from the telecom industry. Combined, we have like 54 years experience in telecom at the executive level. We founded MavenIT to provide the type of managed technology services to small and medium businesses that enterprises enjoy. So we saw that there's a big need for companies that technology is becoming more and more important to them, but they don't have the resources to have their own IT group. So we kind of look at ourselves at giving them an IT department at a fraction of the cost through a monthly managed service.
Very interesting. So maybe just, you mentioned it started 2 years ago. Maybe tell us a little bit about the background of the company so that people can get a good understanding. Maybe something interesting like how many clients you're working with, or maybe how many visitors on the page, or any rewards or prizes you want, just that they can sort of understand a bit more.
Sure. Well, we started marketing or working in just the traditional small medium business market in the United States, and we're based outside of Detroit, Michigan. Started there, and we had traditional small medium businesses, lawyers, accountants, doctors' offices, dentist offices, and so on. Made a lot of manufacturing because Detroit's a manufacturing center. But I think the most interesting development has been that we started getting involved in the franchise world. So, with franchisees, multi-unit franchisees that are in the quick service restaurant space or financial services space. And we end up landing a client that was opening a place called Smoothie King. They were traditionally in the South United States, and they're moving up north. And we landed the exclusive franchisee for Michigan and Ohio. And this wasn't a strategy. It was just typical cold calling. And they weren't happy with their current provider. And we talked to them and landed the first location, and ended up doing more. This particular franchisee is doing 53 locations with us. We're already into close to 20 now, and we really just like a lot of things, kind of fell into it, but really we're interested in this space because we realized one sale leads to many locations, and it's a very underserved market. The franchise brands don't provide a lot of this technology. The franchisees are kind of left on their own to procure this, and a lot of them are going, a lot of them are going to multiple providers. They're going to one for their Wi-Fi, another one for the security cameras, another one for the door access systems, and so on. We have a product portfolio that has all of that. So we became like this one-stop shop for franchisees, which is a big part of our growth. And when a franchisee is opening a new store, it's 90 days of chaos. They have to get the store built out. They have to get the equipment in there. They have to hire employees. They have to do all those things. And technology is about 40% of that project. They can just hand over that 40% to us, and we manage it for them and help them out with it. So that led to, we got introduced to corporate. That led to getting introduced to other franchisees, other brands. And this is really a big focus for us going forward, is serving the franchisee and franchisor market. So, big change wasn't our intention when we started, but, you have to, you create your own luck, and you create your own, you create your own opportunities. We happened to be there when they needed us, and turned out we found a very good opportunity, and that's been the big driver of our growth for the last 2 years.
Very good. When you say franchisees, just for everybody who's listening in, is that sort of like restaurants? Is that, retail shops? Like, what should people imagine?
It could be all of the above. There's a franchise for everything now. There's a lot, obviously restaurants, McDonald's was the first, but, went from restaurants to retail shops, car repair places, home cleaning services, there's financial service companies that are franchisees, even real estate places. I mean, it's all of the above. There's a franchise for everything. And, we try to find the ones that are technology heavy, which are most of them. And we try to give them the we try to make them understand that outsourcing your technology or giving your technology to a single provider makes your life easier. And so you can focus on managing your business, and we manage the technology for them, and it's been working pretty well.
Gotcha. Yeah, you mentioned already that there is like various different sort of like portfolio and packages that you're offering. Maybe just
Mm-hmm.
for somebody who's listening in on a very high level, like what would be sort of an average price tag somebody should be thinking on per month that they're dealing with, somebody running up their franchise. What would be sort of a ballpark of pricing?
Our average location monthly revenue, so what we charge a franchisee per month, averages between $300 and $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes a lot of things. That includes most of the technology they need to run their store. Everything from that does not include the actual internet access. That is built. We're not an internet company, but that it does include everything that does connect to their network. So, things like security cameras, Wi-Fi, customer Wi-Fi, door access systems, all the data security that wraps around that, all those, firewalls and all that type of thing, between $300 and $500 a month, depending on the size of location.
Makes a lot of sense. When you're talking about the franchisees, what is obviously a very interesting question then is like, what would be a top client acquisition channel, right? Because they're brick and mortar, I'm assuming for most part of it. Like, what
Yep.
emerged as an interesting channel to grow the business there?
It's especially with COVID going on, we were a little concerned, right, because of the whole brick and mortar thing. What we've actually thrived during COVID, even with these brick and mortar stores, because the stores at the drive-throughs are still doing really well. They have curbside pickup and drive-throughs. They really have done well. So again, we got a little lucky. We landed a brand, or several brands that are very drive-through focused. Mm-hmm. So I didn't lose a lot of customers that way, and that emerged as an opportunity. And because of COVID, at least in the United States, they really started expanding. They saw that more and more people were, people couldn't go to restaurants anymore, but they would, they didn't want to cook for themselves, so they'd pick up, or they'd go through a drive-through. So a lot of these brands are really expanding right now, and that's been a big part of our growth as well. It's just the organic growth with the brands that we're already in. They refer the franchisees to us, saying, if you're opening a new store, let these guys manage your technology. It'll make your life easier. So that's, we had 1 month where, things got rough, and that was May. We had very little sales. And every month since then has been a record month for us.
Is that like outbound, or is that sort of SEO inbound driven, or digital advertising driven? Like, where do you?
It's very, you're probably gonna not like this answer, but it's all of the above. It really depends. We do a lot. We have a very comprehensive marketing program. We do, a lot of social marketing. We do. We're big believers in email marketing. It's a big part for us. LinkedIn, it plays a big role in how we identify targets. Mm-hmm. And then we use, email system, software to find their, the people's emails. Mm-hmm. And then, so it's kind of we kind of hit them from all sides, right? So, we'll market on social. That brings some inbound. We'll do a lot of, direct email marketing, and we use the technology to track, who opens it, how many clicks, that kind of prioritize who we go after. And then, we do get visits on our website that lead, we have a landing page there, mm-hmm. and that, that generates a lot of leads. It really comes from everywhere, and still, believe it or not, a lot of word of mouth. Franchisees talk to each other, and they, who do you use for technology? I'm having this problem, and they refer them to us. So it's all of the above, and we do a lot of we do spend money on advertising, mm-hmm. Trade publications, mm-hmm. Trade websites, but also we do a lot of LinkedIn advertising as well, which we find to be very useful. It seems nowadays LinkedIn is a great way to get in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mentioned the website. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you there. Go ahead.
That's okay. I just said a big portion of our marketing budget now is turned into LinkedIn advertising and things like that. So
makes sense. You mentioned the website actually there. What role does the website play for client acquisition?
Right now it's been a smaller role for us, and that probably has more to do with us, just because we've been so focused on social and email marketing. Mm-hmm. But it is a goal for coming up for 2021 to mm-hmm. really improve the amount of leads that are generated through our website. Mm-hmm. It's if it's not working, it has more to do. I think it could work very well. I think it has more to do with us and really our focus on the other areas. So what you focus on grows. We're going to turn some focus up on the website this year and see how that goes. Yep.
And if we talk a little bit about the website, I know it's not your main focus at the moment, just a sort of a little excursion about the website. Right now, what do you think is the major strength of the page? Is it the ability that if somebody comes that they actually, convert, or is it, the quality of the leads that it's producing, or maybe the user experience you're providing? Where do you see the major strength?
I would say it's when people come to our website, they're looking for a specific thing. We're very, very specific. So the visits that we do get are people who are, at least shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do get a lead in the website, they have a high conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the strength. And we get right to the point on the website, what we do, the services we provide, and the fact that we have such a broad product portfolio. Someone might search for Wi-Fi, they find our website. They might search for cybersecurity, they find our website. There's a lot, security cameras. I mean, there's a lot of ways for them to find us, and I think that helps as well.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to ask then, obviously, on the flip side, where do you see the room for improvement? If it's strong in converting, like maybe what about the quality that is coming through, or the experience you're providing on the page? Where do you see the most room for improvement?
Just getting more people to find us,
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's an SEO issue. It just has not been, in 2 years, it's the same website we've had. We've made little updates here. We've added news. We've added, we have an animated video that's going to go on, and we're going to promote that. And we use a lot of landing pages. So I think I want to focus more on the SEO going forward as well. But we just need some, to short things up there, and that is definitely a shortcoming, today. So we're not always on the top of the list when people search for technology, not even in the Detroit area, which needs to be improved. So
I see. Very good. So let's come back to the product. For everybody who is listening in, what would you say is sort of the main competitive advantage? How would you summarize that? Everybody's building up a franchise, or knows somebody's building up a franchise. Where do you see the competitive advantage?
Our competitive advantage is the fact that we are a one-stop shop. Opening, like I said, opening and managing a franchise is a lot of work, especially the opening stage. Again, it's 90 days of chaos, and the fact that we can take a big chunk of that project plan, we estimate about 40% of it, and just handle it for the franchisee, for the owner, makes their life that much easier. And, so I think that's a big advantage. The second is we offer free unlimited phone support for any of the technology that we provide and manage. So they can call us as many times as they want. If they have a problem, if they have a question, that's where we spend our budget, on people, is in the support side. So we really want to be there and not charge them for phone support, and we can solve about 95% of the problems over the phone.
Yep.
So it really gives our customers that worry-free and budget certainty, which we get a lot of compliments about that. They know that it's gonna work, and if it doesn't work, they can call us, and it's not going to cost them anything.
Mm-hmm.
So in that rare instance, we got to send somebody out, there'll be a charge, but it's very rare.
I see. If we would be looking behind the curtain of MavenIT a little bit, like how would you say is the sales and the marketing team structured at the moment?
It's the marketing structure. We run a pretty lean shop. So I'm still involved in a lot of the day-to-day. I have marketing and sales reporting to me, and it's important to me. Most important thing to me is that you have marketing and sales is very well integrated, which is why I have both underneath me. You see a lot. I've worked at a lot of big companies in the past, and you got marketing going one way, and there's nothing that sales needs, right? So I like the fact that both are reporting to me, so I can hear what the salespeople need, I can hear what they're dealing with, and we can make sure that marketing is producing leads for the sales team that are actually valuable. So that collaboration between marketing and sales is the most important part of that structure.
Okay, very good. And maybe you can walk us through the journey, since you're sort of like having a bird's eye perspective on marketing and sales. So if a lead would be coming through the website or any other channel, how would they be handled between marketing and sales at the moment? Could you walk us through the steps?
Sure. I'll take let's take an email marketing situation. So we identify targets. We decide that we want to market to a certain segment or sector of franchisees. Let's just call it restaurants with drive-thrus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll find those franchise brands, just through normal research. Which ones we like, the ones that are kind of up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to land many McDonald's; they're pretty established. But the one, there's a lot more. For instance, in the health, in the health food area, there's a lot more. There's a lot of health franchises coming out. So we'll take health franchises with drive-thrus. or curbside pickup. We'll find out who the players are. We'll obtain their email addresses through some sort of email service. Usually, that's connected to LinkedIn. So we create the list from LinkedIn, create the email list, and then we start sending, out email marketing. We talk about what MavenIT is. The next email might be, here's the products we offer, and then we go into specific products. And we track who opens, who clicks, how many times they open, how many times they click, and that creates the prioritization for sales to go to work. So we'll give sales a list that's prioritized by what looks like interest from the target. Then we have this email, we have a phone number. We usually sales will follow up with a phone call. And so you may have seen our emails, you may have seen our advertisements on LinkedIn, and they usually are armed with good information about how many new stores they're opening, things of that nature. So sales is usually marketing armed sales with a lot of good research that says, when you call this franchisee, they have an agreement to open 20 stores in the next 18 months or the next 24 months, and they know where they're opening, so they can speak intelligently to this, franchisee. They know exactly what their business is and what their issues are. And, that's usually how it works. Obviously people don't always pick up the phone. People will tell you they don't need you, that type of thing, but it's very focused. It starts off with casting a wide net, but we focus on what looks like the best opportunities, and then we hand them out the sales from there.
Very good. Since we're slowly coming to an end of the interview, I would love to learn a little bit about yourself as a leader in the company, and also the person right behind the curtain. So I would have a couple of rapid fire questions set up for you. Are you ready for those?
I am.
Perfect. So what's your favorite place to consume content and to educate yourself?
Wow, I have a lot. I do. I like LinkedIn, honestly. I probably spend, an hour a day on LinkedIn. I like, if you set up your feed right with following the right people, that's relevant to your business, it can be very informative. And I've used LinkedIn has been my main hub for that type of thing.
Very good. What's the last book you read?
I just read a book called Accidental Presidents, I believe it's called. It's about the 8 vice presidents in the United States that became president when the president died in the office, and it was fascinating. I can't imagine being thrown into that type of position and have to take things over. So that was a very fascinating book.
Very cool. What's the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
One thing we're focused on the most is growth in the franchise market, and connecting with more franchises, brands, more franchisees, and we're going to get very personal. Our marketing is going to get, very, very intense account-based marketing. So we'll be going as far as me calling, executives at the franchise brands personally, even doing mail, sending FedEx, information via FedEx, to get in front of people. So we'll be spending a lot of money in that area over the next year.
Very good. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing you want to have fixed for your company today?
I would say, this is more on the operations side, being able to track the installation process better when we help people set up a store, knowing when technology is installed, when it's working, when it's been tested, and moving on from there. There's always that period where we know the technicians out there and we're waiting to see how things are going, so being able to have more insight into that would be nice.
Okay. And very last question, right? If today would be your first day started to work on MavenIT, so it's the first day you step into the office, what would be one advice that you would give yourself?
I would have started earlier. I was an executive for 20 years, and I really wish I had started 10 years sooner. So I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for, but every day I come in, I wish I had gotten out of the corporate world a lot earlier. Just so much more happy and fulfilled. And, the politics aren't there. If something goes wrong, I have no one to blame but myself, and I'm really enjoying myself over the last 2 years.
Very good. So Charlie, thanks a lot for being on the show with us today. I want to give you the last word, right? If somebody forgets everything about the interview today, what would be one thing they should remember about MavenIT?
MavenIT allows you to focus on running your business, what you do best. So if you're a smoothie place for making smoothies and not worrying about the technology, we take away all the worry, and we give you certainty there'll be no budget surprises when you use us. So you can look at us as your full IT department at a fraction of the cost.
Very cool. Thanks for being part of the show.
Thanks, Lucas. I appreciate it.